can do. This guy says the horse can do. If he says the horse can.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. Going to go through the Saturday, September 30th races, the last day of September. Yes. It's hard to believe we're already. The Sunday card will be October.
Getting into our last month of racing.
Wow,
yes.
Only got 4 more weekends left of the live thoroughbred season. Of course, we'll race Sunday, Monday on October the 8th and 9th.
That's right.
That's the only tweak to the schedule. We do have, of course, the Sunday, Monday, which is the Thanksgiving Day weekend. That's a couple weeks down the road. But first post at 1:50. We have 7 races, including the Fantasy,
which goes off as a
Phillies.
fifth.
Yes, headed by Here's Hannah. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, what a superstar. She's been in her first 2 starts. Does get a little test this time with a horse going up from California, but very interesting race. As Mike mentioned, 7 races on tap. Let's get right into it. The first is a 16 non-3 for 3 and up. Colton Gelding's going a mile in his 16th. Kermode looks tough in here, but for me, it's the 2 barb heads horses. I went with Always Sunny. I thought a very good effort last time behind a very well meant, as good as they get. And he hadn't run since July. That's really what pushed me his way. There was a big effort off the bench. If he moves forward off that one, I think the race can set up for him. Kermode's got speed. Run Harvey Run looks like he should go with him, or at least be forwardly play somebody to push him. And Catch Me showing speed in the past, but I think Always Sunny, I think he gets to jump on his stablemate Sanawar, who I have in the 2nd spot. But those are the 2 I like. Always Sunny and Sanawar. You can make good cases for both of them. Sanawar coming out of one of those very tough HPBA claimant series against a very nice horse, Awesome Slate. I imagine we'll probably see him in the premiers this year. And I've heard Kermode, who's really turned the corner in his last 2 races.
That was a big run last time.
Yeah, second beaten a couple by Salzburg. Last time, just a couple of heads, got beat by Good As They Get and Always Sunny. But he'd been running. That's why I sided with Always Sunny. 3, 4, and 1 for me.
Yeah, I've got the same 3 horses. I don't. It's not a lock. There wasn't much separating Kermode, Run Harvey Run, Always Sunny. Last time there was only like a length between them, and whoever had the better trip got finished ahead of the other. But it's a good competitive race.
That's why I liked what Always Sunny is he was coming off the bench, and everybody else had been running, and that's why I think he can move forward.
He can, and the distance. It's a mile 16th as well, and that helps Sanawar, who is a better mile 16th horse. He showed he's not a $25,000 horse last time, by he got clobbered behind some nice horses though. Awesome Slate. They would be 1 to 9 in here. The horses that finished ahead of him, but this is an easier spot for Sanawar. So I thought those were the 2. I agree. My wife's horses are both look very good in here as a tailor-made race, and the 1 Kermode, the speed. I think this horse can go long. I know he's sprinted him his entire life pretty much, but I think this horse can route, just like Martello the other day. Sprint. Finally went along and marched.
Makes no mistake.
And sometimes you just got to stretch them out, and they might run a little better. But Kermode's live in here because he is the inside speed. 3-4-1 for me in the Saturday opener on race number 2. $4,000 Fillies and Mares here. Going a mile on the 16th. I ended up on the 5 Irish Line. I'm going to follow her back. No rider named as of taping, but still, obviously Enrique Gonzalez is out for the season. He did. He broke his ankle. Just landed awkwardly, I guess, and when he was unseated about 50 yards out of the gate.
Pretty much at the head of the lane.
Yeah. Right out of the gate, and unfortunately, this is one of them young horses, and a couple of them collided, and no fault, just those things happen. But unfortunately, Enrique Gonzalez did take the worst of it, and did break his ankle, and he is out for the year.
We'll see him next year, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. But Irish Lass will need a rider, and this horse has been moving forward step by step. The time was a little flattered, but the track was really fast that day. But still, there was not a ton of pace on. Still just circled and won pretty comfortably. I think he's ready for this next step. The 4 SL Express is definitely the horse to beat. I have no problems with SL Express. I just want to try and beat her just because of the price. I just think Irish Lass might be the one. And I put the 7 horse, Sheila's Rose. I'm going to give Teddy Hurd a break. I've been picking this one on top all the time.
Exactly. We've been stopping her.
I'll put this one in for 3rd. I just see a lot of speed, Drew. I see B.A. Holgauger going, Lady Cash going, SL Express going. I just see a lot of front-end action, which may help the 5 and the 4. And maybe it won't play out that way, but I went 5, 4, and 7.
I would, very similar to you, but I went with a different horse on top. I went to Lady Cash. I thought that was a monster effort last time in the HPBA Championship Series. Just got caught late by a PG Star. Did all the heavy lifting. Went decent fractions, 24, 47, 112. That's decent for, these $4,000 fillies. And just got called late. But
I probably should have put her. I should have put her in the top
I thought a
three.
huge effort from her.
That's
Got a
a
59
mistake.
buyer. There is other speed in here, but the one, I don't think SL Express goes with her. I think it's BA Whole Auger, but she's to her inside. Lady Cash is the good horse right now. I think she puts her away and carries them a long way. So I went Lady Cash on top. I've agreed. SL Express is going to be the horse to beat. I agree. It's Hamill, Greg Tracy. Everything's,
Got beat last time, but still the horse to beat.
yeah, everything's leaning towards her being the favorite. So I got her in second spot, and I agree with you. Teddy's nice filly, Shayla's Rose, in the third spot. I went 3, 4, and 7 in the second. On to the third. 4 non-2 for older horses, going 6.5 furlongs. And I went to the 4 here. The odds are even. Pretty cool horse. Dropped down last time. First time in for the $4,000 tag. Only got beat 3 lengths behind Floodwatch and Fear the Cat, who I don't have in my top 3. But a lot of times you see these horses, they take a drop down to the $4,000 level, and they run kind of a decent race, and they get beat, but then they come back next time and win. He was hooked the whole way last time, 23 and 46. I don't see as much speed in this one. Fear the Cat's to his inside. I think Antonio Reyes, the move to Antonio Reyes can work out well for him. The odds are even for me on top. A Humphrey Lad hasn't run since the 21st of August. He's been running horrible. Got beat by 10 for 16, dropped down to 8.
Kind.
Got beat by 21. Well, he did. He's
horrible.
For our good friend Ken Johnson. He won't take any offense.
No,
he's been running horrible, but he's been off for 5 weeks, and his works back look very good. A minute and 3/5, 49 and 3.
Yep.
That time off could have freshened him up, and I expect him to come out with a much better effort today and a much easier spot. Last time he ran was against McCallum, Santa Fe Trail. Those horses are considerably
Back in
tougher.
sprinting too,
Which could be good for me, yeah, exactly. Back to the sprint before that with Catch Me All under control, he was a bit more of a factor. So I'm thinking Humphrey Lad, bit of a shot in here for second spot. In the third spot, I put another one, taking a plunge, Musaka Chef. This horse won maiden 25 first out this year, has struggled to be competitive since, but now in for 4 for very good connections. Mark Cluche and Amadeo Perez. I don't want to leave him off the ticket. 4, 5, and 3 for me.
I have the same 3, but I did put Musaka Chef on top. He's had a tough campaign after dead heating. Anytime you have dead heat for your maiden win, it's kind of an unlucky start to your
exactly.
career.
It's a dark cloud over you.
I know, because you don't even get all the money and you lose your condition. And he ran for against Liquid Metal in a non-316, which was a tough race. He wasn't embarrassed in that race. Then came back with went back on Lasix. He hadn't been running with Lasix, and went back on Lasix, added blinkers, and there were some changes to Musaka Chef. And I know the company was easier, but still, Satellite Storm was dropping for 35,000 3-year-olds.
Peace Arch, Laguna Blaze.
Those
aren't bad horses.
It was a tough race. That was a tough 8. And this 4 is way easier.
And he's got nice work coming into it for a top trainer, Mark Cluche. 47 and 4, 48 and 2.
He's killing him this year, Mark. But I'm going to try Musaka Chef to defeat your pick. The odds are even, and the 5 Humphrey Lad. I agree with everything you said. But I went 3. I just put Musaka Chef on top. 3, 4, 5 for me in the third. On the 4th race as well, and the early pick 4, and start the late pick 4. Maiden $16,000.
Yeah, we should have mentioned going back in the second race.
Yes, so we got to see this guy pick 6.
Kicks
36.
off 36,000. So
it's going to be over 40. You're going to win it. You're going to get over 40 grand if you're the solo winner of the See This Guy Pick 6, which does start in race 2, which goes about 220. So get your See This Guy Pick 6.
That would make me super happy. That would also make me my biggest winner ever at the track by about $39,500.
The 4th race does have a field of 8. Actually, it's down to 7. Now the 8 Storm Rocket has entered back. But I went to the 4-horse Mike Grayson on the class drop, gets out of those futurities, and tough stakes races. He's a half to Yukon Bell, the 2-year-old filly champion last year, but obviously he's not as good as her. But still, he has some talent, and Antonio Reyes jumps aboard. He's been actually riding. Antonio Reyes and Pat Jarvis just do so well together. He's got Ego at a big price, Martello at a big price. You get good money betting on Reyes and Pat Jarvis when they do hook up together. There's a good ROI on that. But Mike Grayson, a lot easier spot. I think he's the best horse in here. I put the 5 Asp, who's going to be a heavy favorite, in for second, but I think very vulnerable. And I put the 1 horse Airfare, who returned to Hastings after a early. He'd been working here and then went to Northlands and started his career around second, and then came here to Hastings, ran a maiden special, but back in for 16. He's worth a look as well. I thought 4, 5, and 1. I didn't. Chilcotin Hill, Criminal Code, Hasari. I just didn't fancy a lot of the other ones. I went 4, 5, and 1.
I don't have a lot to add. I got Mike Grayson on top. If there's any gas left in the tank, he is certainly been running against the best horses here.
Right.
By far. And he's not even back into a main special weight. Now he goes in
16,
for 16, and that should put him over the top. I got Mike Grayson on top. I agree with you. Asp has to be respected. A good second last time at Sheriff College.
That's the horse to beat.
That was at the same level. Top connections, Phil Hall, Richard Hamill. Got him in second. And I went the other way. I did put Chilcotin Hill. Ran for price first time, ran into Cassidy Finality. Cassidy Finality won that race. The time before that, the horse he beat, he's come back to win. So there was a live race he was coming out of when he broke his maiden. Those horses that he'd run second the time before to under par. The horses coming out of that race are winning. So I think Chilcotin Hill is all right for Randy Hudson. I put him in the third spot. 4, 5, and 6 for me. In the fourth, on to the fifth, the Fantasy. Nice $100,000 stake for 2-year-old fillies going a mile and 16th. And obviously the favorite and the local horse to beat is Here's Hannah. Main special weight, she wins by 6. Absolutely dusts him. And she was one of those horses, everybody's talking about, this is probably a good one that John Morrison's got. A lot of times that doesn't work out. It worked out. She absolutely.
That's how good she is.
Yeah,
she carried the entire backstretch. Who knew she was a runner?
Exactly.
The entire backstretch can't be right.
There's a lot more disappointments and surprises in this game. Yeah. She was not a disappointment. Won by 6 her first out. Followed it up at a short price in the Futurity, facing winners for the first time. Made it look easy. Just absolutely ran.
John Morrison's done a great job.
1 by 3. Totally. Kudos to John Morrison.
She's not an easy horse to train. She is a handful. She's a high strung. She's a Numani, and not that they're all high strung, but I mean she's. I watch her train every day. John goes and picks her up at the gap, like with the shank, and leads her off the track. And she is a handful. Angie Smith does a really good job galloping her, and
they took their time with her. Like she didn't get to the races to the 25th of August. So they didn't rush her to the races, and as you mentioned, Johnny does a fantastic job.
She's far more controlled too.
Yeah.
Her energy is far more controlled, which is neat, and I think she'll get a mile 16th, no problem.
Well, yeah, especially the Numani side of her. The distance shouldn't be a problem, let alone the fact that she looks like she's just the best horse in here.
Yeah, on paper she's the best. Anyway, but just watching her train since her, she's come out of the Futurity quite nicely. I can tell you that.
And worked in 59. So.
Yeah. And I watched her this morning. She galloped. She come out of the 59 good.
Yeah.
I watched her come off the track. She's
she looks pretty special.
Good weight. Yeah. And everything you like to see.
Yeah, no, she looks pretty special, and no reason to try and beat her in here. I got Here's Hannah. If somebody were to bet her in here, have to figure it would be the 3 Assemble, who broke her maiden down at Sacramento at the fairs and Golden Gate. You can run into some good horses in there.
Yep.
You can run those Hollendorfer horses he's paid $200,000 for. The fact that she broke her maiden there is good. Came back and run third in a stake at Santa Rosa. Again, those races are not easy. So she's obviously got some ability. Not sure what happened last time on the
boys. Running against the boys.
Running against the boys and on the Tapeta. Maybe she didn't like the Tapeta. Yeah. Ran fourth, but now in here against girls. A nice daughter of Bodemeister for top connections. Peter Radicop, Phil Hall. I got Assemble in the second spot. And I put in Raider, who was by far the best of the rest in the Futurity. Three behind Here's Hannah, 8 in front of the third horse. Got to have her in for third. I went 6, 3, and 5.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, those are the 3 horses. Here's Hannah's miles the best for me. Assemble would be the only one that can possibly move forward. As you mentioned, Blaine Wright does a great job. He's leading trainer at Emerald by a mile. He does a great job at Golden Gate. He's one of the top trainers wherever he goes, Blaine Wright.
Yeah, he's up and down the West Coast.
To the Phil Hall barn. And obviously running against the boys last time, it was the only, perhaps that might have been a pretty, I don't know that particular race, but maybe it would have been a tough one. But anyway, gets back on dirt, as you mentioned, because it was Pauly.
She broke bad in there too. But you have to think if somebody beats Here's Hannah, this would be the horse.
And Raider ran really good. And she lost by 3. It was a comfortable 3. Richard was on the brakes, winning by 3 with Here's Hannah. But still, Raider ran a good race and definitely has some distance in that pedigree as well. 6-3-5, I agree with you. Not a lot to rehash in the $100,000 fantasy. In the 6th race, 12-5 older horses going a mile and the 16th. The 6 Rebus, I'm another one. I'm president of the fan club of Rebus.
It's your boyfriend.
It's one of my boys, and he's one of my homies. And I just think he's in a better spot today. That was a 16. That was the 16 start. The one difficult thing about reading some of these races,
I know it doesn't give you the price it ran
give you
for.
The claiming price because it says HBPA claiming championship and then the purse. Well, Rebus. Fife, obviously, Rebus, anyone coming out of the Power Cup race, that was the 16,000. Where last year's reward was coming into the 8,000. And you don't know, and unfortunately, it's just whatever reason why the Daily Racing Room does this. But the last year's reward is on the hike. in here, and it might not look like that on form. It looks like the horse won a stake or something last
It looks
time.
like they ran for the same price.
And
it looks like they ran for the same price.
But Rebus is the best. Bottom line, Rebus, I think, is the best horse in here. He's got speed. He should be in a good early position. I put the 8 horse We Found Gold because there is other speed in here. The 1's going. The 3's going. Pfeiffer goes. Rebus likes to be close. There's going to be a pace in here. We Found Gold. I was pretty impressed with his run, even though he did run 3rd last time. Still, that horse is live in here. And I put the 2 horse Heart Set getting out of the marathons into this 12-5 claimer. This horse is worth a look as well.
Yeah.
Sean Savachi or Zane Savachi subbing for Skylar Whiteshield, who's heading off to Phoenix.
Yeah.
He's going to get started at Turf Paradise, and that's why you won't see Skylar Whiteshield's name through the remainder of the meet. But I went 6.82.
I don't know much to add, although I did go with We Found Gold because of the pace scenario.
Definitely, I can see that.
And that's why, I mean, it's Rebus and We Found Gold.
Because I'm president of the,
you got to take
vice president anyway, the Rebus fan.
You got to take him.
I have to take him.
No, yeah, absolutely. It was a coin toss for me. I like Rebus too, but because of the pace scenario, I put We Found Gold on top of Rebus. You pretty much covered everything about those 2 horses. The other one, I threw in a bit of a homer move. I put in my dad's horse, Santa Fe Trail.
That horse ran great last time.
He's ran 3 very good races in a row.
He never quit.
Yeah, that was a much tougher race, and he's a street fighter that if he is hooked, because there is speed in here, he's the one, I think Rebus is a better horse. He moves on, but he's the one of Heart Set, Pfeiffer that could keep fighting and hang on for 3rd, so I put him in the 3rd spot.
He drew nicely on the
8,
rail,
6, and 1, 8, 6, and 1 with Silvino Morales aboard. On to the 7th. Marathon mile and 3/8 for older boys. For, what is it, 62.50 or less? Yeah. Field of 7 in here. I went to the one, what goes around. You go back to that race, a mile and 3/8 is a special distance, and not a lot of horses want to go this far. You look around on their form. There's a couple, Step Up for the Money has a win at the distance, but I thought that race, but that was a while ago. What goes around? That was this year, just 3 starts back. Like I said, not many horses want to go a mile and 3/8. He obviously does. That was a very impressive race for him. Came back in a tough race, going a mile and 1/8 with Citron Kid, Talk Charm, a bunch of these. But they're better even at a mile and 16th than he is. They're better probably at a mile and 1/8 than he is. But a mile and 3/8, I really think What Goes Around is the horse to be in here. Coming off a good 3rd in that Santa Fe Trail Citron Kid race. Now they're back to his distance. I got What Goes Around on top of Citron Kid, who's never run this far before, but he's looked very good in his last 2 races. Looked comfortable beating Santa Fe Trail and What Goes Around in his latest. So I put him in the 2nd spot, and I put Talkett's Charm. Now moves to the Jim Brown barn. He's a big closer in here. The cool thing about Talkett's Charm, which Savachi should be able to do, is basically almost gallop him into a work. He should just be able to take it easy, hang out at the back. It doesn't matter how far they're going. Just gallop along, make his one move, and he could definitely get up and hit the board or win it all. I went 1, 4, and 6.
I have the same 3 horses. I think What Goes Around is the mile and 3/8 specialist. He threw nicely. Antonio might even have this horse on the lead. He isn't a confirmed he's not really a super big closer, but he does have some speed. And going a mile and 3/8 is a short run. He's not going to be. Starts at the 6 furlong start, the actual 6 furlong start. So it's a short run to the first turn. He could take advantage of his inside post and get right out there, and it could be like a real slow pace. I don't see anyone that really wants to. 2 doesn't want. 2 drops back. 3 drops back. 4 drops back. 5 drops back. 6 drops back, and Step Up for the Money is really only the one that's been close to it, the pace at all throughout his career, and he might be able to win, but I know What Goes Around won't let him get too far away. But I agree, Citron Kid, it's been a great year for Praven Sorensen. And,
he's on his game right
Phil
now.
Hall. Talkett's Charm, good claim. He's eligible. I agree with 1, 4, 6, but I agree with What Goes Around. He's just not a great mile and 16th, mile and 8th horse, but he's a really good,
mile and
better mile and
3/8
3/8, mile and a half horse.
That's
when he really
it's
shines.
A special distance.
And that's why you just. That sometimes separates them. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the Saturday, September 30th card. Next up on screen will be a quick recap. Here we go. Back in race number 1, I went to the 3 horse Always Sunny, 3, 4, and 1. Race number 2, I went to the 5 Irish Lass over the 4 and the 7. And I hope this guy can jump up in class and win it. 5, 4, 7 for me in the 2nd. The 3rd race, I went to the 3 Musaka Chef in the class drop, 3, 4, and 5. Race number 4, I went to the 4 Mike Grayson, another one dropping in class. Going to go 4, 5, and 1. Race number 5, the 6. Here's Hannah. No dropping here. She's just a quality, talented filly that will wrap up hopefully a championship season. 6, 3, and 5 for me in the fantasy. In the 5th, race number 6, I went to the 6 Rebus over the 8. We Found Gold, and the 2 Heart Set. And I went in the finale, race 7. The marathon, I went 1, 4, and 6. What goes around to win it?
On to my picks, not that different from Mike's today. We got a lot of same horses. Back in the first, I agree. Number 3, Always Sunny over the 4 and the 1. In the second, I went to the 3 again. Number 3, Lady Cash over the 4 and the 7. In the third, I went to the 4. The odds are even. Mel Snow's horses are running good right now over the 5 and the 3. In the fourth, I agree with Mike. Number 4, My Grayson over the 5 and the 6. In the fifth, the Fantasy. What do you say about Here's Hannah? She looks very, very tough in here. I agree with Mike. Number 6, Here's Hannah over the 3, Assemble, and the 5, Raider. In the 6th, I went to number 8, We Found Gold over the 6 and the 1. And in the nightcap, I'm with Mike again on number 1, What Goes Around over the 4 and the 6.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Just a quick reminder that the Sea to Sky Pick 6, as we mentioned earlier, 36,000 over north of 36,000.
That's the play of the day for sure. The play of the day.
That is definitely a figure. It's races 2 through 7. That's 2 through 7. Starts about 2:20 our time. And if you can be the solo winner, you can take home over 4. It's only 20-cent wager. You can.
I know,
you
so
can get
like,
a lot of combos for 20 cents.
You get some friends together, you put in 40 or 60 bucks, you can
get
cover
a lot of
horses.
In the Sea to Sky Pick 6. And you got to be the solo winner to take home the jackpot, but still it's going to be over 40 grand.
And the way it's been paying out, even like the 6 out of 6 payout without a single winner, it still pays good, especially when it gets up this high. There's going to be a lot of money into it, so it's still going to pay decent.
It's going to be really good. It's a great wager to look at. If not, don't worry. You've got the old standby win, play, show wagers, and hopefully we've given you a few of them.
I like the multi-race tickets where I can take a lot of horses in each race.
I know, because you make a mistake.
Can't stand on one.
Because you can take 3 and
exactly.
then
if
you can be wrong,
your top horse doesn't get there,
oh
well,
pick wins.
somebody
okay.
covers you. Exactly.
You're in business. Our next live card is Sunday, October the 1st. Of course, the Ascot graduation, $100,000 race for 2-year-old colts and geldings. Will be their chance to shine at a mile on the 16th. It's a little bit of an exciting race. Not a lot of standouts in that one as there is in the fantasy. Like Here's Hannah as a standout in the fantasy, but
there's going to be no 2 to 5 shot.
Great betting race, and that'll be on the Sunday card, which once again starts at 1:50. And do check it out, see if the Sea to Sky Pick 6 carried over. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in. If you can't make it out to Hastings, get down here to the Derby Barn Grill. We'll have lots of televisions here to watch simulcasting from Santa Anita this weekend.
That's right.
Yeah, Santa Anita's back.
Santa Anita's got a big day, too. It's got the front runner and the chandelier and the Zenyatta.
Yeah, all the Breeders' Cup
prep races.
And there's still a huge race. Tough to call like a $500,000 race a prep race for something. I know.
I'll take a prep race like that.
We got too greedy in this era, I think.
Yes.
But Santa Anita, Belmont, lots of great stakes action and lots of great tracks, as well as Hastings here at the Derby Barn Grill. If you can't make it out to Hastings Racecourse. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Barn Grill.